All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Breaking the Mold, episode 38. I'm Harry and BX. Let's say what's up to the rest of the crew. Gary, starting with you first this week, brother.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's a new
How are
place.
you?
It's a new state. I'm doing great. I actually,
Welcome to New York. Welcome to New York.
yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It's like 45 degrees and rainy here today. So I was like, what did I do? Yeah. Yeah. It's good to see you guys. It's good to be kind of in the chat kind of consistently again. You forget how much you kind of, even though I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, it's really cool just to kind of hang out and talk, and I was really looking forward to it today. So yeah, everything's good. I got one pickup. I got the Hot Toys Iron Man.
Hot Toys.
The Mark IV, right? Yeah, with the gantry from Iron Man 2, basically the sunglasses and donuts.
Wait, you got the whole gantry though?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Holy
shit! I
shit!
didn't get a chance to open it yet. I'm still setting up the new toy room. That's cool. So that came in.
Baller.
But yeah, that's good. I got two. Here's actually an exciting story just to share real quick. Was we went, my wife and I mentioned that we were in the process of moving from selling our other house and stuff, and we had tickets to see Kevin Hart in DC 2 weekends ago for his new Material tour. I think it's called Irresponsible. We had great seats on purpose. It was hilarious. It was really good. Obviously if you like Kevin Hart, but what's funny is my first experience seeing where it started like an hour and 15 minutes late, and then the three warm-up guys came on. So it was supposed to start at 7, whatever reason they said it was trying to get people into their seats and stuff. It got delayed, but the whole time they're telling you that you can't have any phones, like you can't have your phone out at all. Like if they see you, they'll tap you on the shoulder and they'll kick you out and not refund any money.
That's crazy.
And yeah, and it's like a recording, right? You kind of hear this thing every 15 minutes, kind of, hey, here's the rules. There's literally a sheet of paper that says it on every single seat back in this entire stadium, whatever the Capitol Stadium, or not stadium, but the Capitol Theater there in DC. So the show just starts. Kevin just barely gets on stage, and what happens to the guy sitting next to me? Reagan pulls out his phone, gets tapped on his shoulder. They yank him out, and his girlfriend was like watching and paying attention. She had no idea that he got booted out. And all of a sudden, she looks over and he's gone. She's like, "What just happened?" And like everybody around was like, "He pulled his phone out." So she's like, "I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "Well, why don't you just stay and watch the show?"
Yeah.
She's like, "He was my ride." I'm like, "I don't know what to tell you." So she ended up leaving. But
it's not her fault he's a dummy.
Right, exactly. I mean, they're not inexpensive seats. They've told you 1,000 times, just not to do it. One of the warm-up comedians, his whole routine was around like the warnings and just making jokes about that and how people were feeling listening to that recording for like 90 minutes and over and over and over again. And then he was making a lot of kind of racial jokes, how people react to stuff about the warnings and whatnot. But yeah, it was just funny. Sure enough, and he even said we were a Saturday night show. He's like, Friday, we kicked out 200 people. He's like, who couldn't wait and could not leave the phone in their pocket. And so I don't know, just pretty funny. I was like, well, more space for us because the chairs are pretty close together, so everyone was able to spread out just a little bit.
I'm saying though, it's like damn. What are you supposed to do in modern times if the show's over an hour late? You're just supposed to be expected to sit there and just not
look at your phone, right?
Yeah.
I could see Gary going up to the guy next to him and go, "Well, do you know what the time is?" And he takes out his phone and goes, "Mother sucker!"
But I'll tell you, the show was great. It was actually a lot of fun. So I'm glad that we did it.
Nice.
Good weekend, and then I got the move out of the way. So now I'm doing what many of us have done before, which is set up a new display space and just try to make it work for the time being for while we're here, and keep moving on.
You got your level? Did you find your level? You gonna hang those floaters back up?
I did not. I left them in the house because I had anchored them so securely that there was no way it just wasn't worth the time and effort to have to patch up that wall. And stuff.
What I meant to say was, are you going to go with the floaters again?
No, not in the rental place. I got No, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I'm not sure 100% what I'm gonna do with it yet.
You gonna get those plastic storage shelves like the people put in the garages and stuff? You want to get some of those?
No, I got a really nice like giant sofa table that we were using in the house that we don't need to use here. So it actually makes quite a nice hot
Detox.
Wait, what did you say? Call it?
Sofa table?
It's a sofa table. One of those. It's a tall, sturdy table. It's kind of skinnier, but it's not like a dining room table. It goes like literally behind your furniture, like behind.
Detox.
No, I'm
So
not.
that's not like a it's not like a credenza or something, is it? That's not, I don't even know what a credenza is.
I'll put I think I put a picture in.
Billy's.
It makes the hot toys look pretty darn fancy, though. I'll tell you that much. I got Deadpool and Joker out already, so they look good.
So Gary, how far away is the closest IKEA to you?
Oof, I have no idea.
Oh, you hadn't even looked.
No, I have no idea.
Canada.
But I'm not a detox guy, though. I'm not going to do detox.
They sell other things at IKEA besides detox.
Mm-hmm.
Contrary to popular belief.
No, they just sell detox. It's just aisles and aisles and aisles of detox.
So is your entire move out of the way? Like you're completely done with that?
Yeah, we are done. So we're just our old house is still up for sale, and we've got about 60 days to go on that, and then otherwise my company does a buyout. So one way or another, we're all done down there. So
nice.
It's nice being near a. I don't want to keep dragging on too long. It feels nice being near like a real city again, though. And Brian, like the lower part of Delaware is not the most cutting edge place.
No, it's not. But it's a resort town. It's a resort area.
It's a retiree and a tourist place, but to live there year round is, it's just not a lot happening in the off season. So it's nice to have convenience.
Hey, Gary, I got a quick question. You said that your company is going to do a buyout. Do they buy it out at your asking price?
Before we committed, they essentially do a series of appraisals, and then they kind of say, here is a company buyout if you can't sell it in 90 days.
Gotcha.
And then, I make the decision if I'm okay with that offer or not. Which
Gotcha.
We were, yeah. So,
okay.
But what's also
we don't have to go. I just wanted to know this, like, kind of the schematics on how that works.
Yeah, and they do everything, to make it as easy as possible. So, like, there's no, commission that you pay for the realtor. There's no fees. So it worked out in our favor, having only lived in that house for like 15 months.
Okay.
So it was good. And like I said, we liked the beaches, but we didn't really love the house. We had to make a quick choice when we bought it. And, so I said, I'm not going to do that again. We'll rent for a little bit, and then decide if we want to stay in this area or do something different again.
Nice. So you just got to set up your hangout space now, right?
Yeah, I've got the furniture. I just got to unpack the rest of the fun stuff. I got some stuff on the walls, and what's nice is I'll tell you, even though we're in an apartment setting, is the toy room space I've got here is about twice as big as the actual bedroom I was using in the old house. So, God bless my wife. She must love me a lot because she gave me the space, and so it's kind of nice. It's good.
Nice. Can't complain right there. Yep. All right. Next up, JD. How are you, brother?
I'm good. How you doing? What's going on, meatbags?
There he is.
Hey, JD.
Sorry.
How are you muting yourself right there? What happened?
I was being distracted by a certain somebody who just got here. So
JD sporting the hoodie, man. It's getting to be that weather.
It's that weather, dude. I'm just gonna say, fuck this weather.
You're not feeling it? You don't like it?
Well, I mean, just the rain. It's been fucking raining perpetually for like 2 months here. It's fucking ridiculous. Fuck these hurricanes. Fuck these monsoon bullshit. Go the fuck away. Give us like at least some, dry areas.
The sun will come out tomorrow.
Thanks, Annie Dom.
No problem.
Yeah.
Will it? Shit, I don't know. It's raining really hard over here today in the city. I think it's supposed to be like that all week. It was coming down.
It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I truly hate it.
How were you about the fall season, like in general? Because I see a lot of people very happy. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's sweater season," and like
dude,
I guess football's back, so it's another thing.
Not a sports fan, but yeah, shorts and a hoodie. You know what I mean? It's that's my shit.
Yeah,
I love wearing hoodies.
JD's all about the pumpkin spice stuff, right?
Pumpkin spice? What?
Yeah, you know how the joke is, right? For all the people that are like, "Oh, it's pumpkin spice season."
No.
I hold out for another 6 days till I have anything pumpkin. Wait for the big October. Number 10.
Wait until October 1st.
Delayed gratification. Not that I partake in a lot of pumpkin things. There is a.
You are a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, man. There is a restaurant near me. They're a chain. They're called Big Fish Grill, I think, something like that. And they have this pumpkin crab bisque in the fall. It's almost pumpkin crab bisque season. It's awesome. If you get a chance, anyone out there, go get yourself some.
Cool.
Pumpkin and seafood. Pumpkin and crab. Interesting combination.
That's great. Sounds like a vomitous time.
No. It's got that savory and sweet thing happening at the same time. Get yourself a nice Oktoberfest to wash it down.
It may make me poop out of my mouth.
It's nasty.
Well, JD, besides the shitty weather, notwithstanding, how's the rest of your week been? How you been? Everything all right?
It was pretty good. We hung out. Went out for a little bit last night. Kind of checked GameStop and whatever, and didn't find anything.
Nothing.
I did, however, and I'm going to see how many people know what this is. I found this at a local.
Oh, Ghostbusters.
No.
Ghostbusters.
Nope.
It's not? That's not Ray? Animated Ray?
No. Nope.
It's Fat Bastard.
Nope.
Oh.
Get in my belly.
Is it open or does it just do that with his arms?
They're ball jointed.
No, I thought maybe he opened like a Russian nesting doll or something.
No.
No. He's got a thing on his back. Is he some kind of Thundercat? Thundercats had that kind of arm action.
Nope. Chatwing and them and Rogue One got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dune.
It's a fucking Baron Harkonnen.
That's a Baron bastard.
Yep. He's missing his belt.
Where is he from? What is that from?
Dune.
Yeah,
Frank Herbert's Dune. Yeah. I'm very, very excited about that. Very, very, very.
I don't.
How old is that figure?
1982.
Oh shit!
Would you find it?
There's like a dude that we go to locally here has a store.
Okay.
And he always posts pictures and stuff like that, like that weekend of stuff he picked up through the week, and he posted a picture of this, and I'm like, dude, you have to fucking hold that for me. You have to.
Was that figure smiling by any chance? It looked like he looked happy.
He is not smiling.
Oh, okay.
He is very unhappy.
Is those like holes in his shirt? Like, or is that just like, is he showing off his belly?
Yes.
It looks like he's wearing pajamas or something.
Yeah,
like
that. I don't. Dom, I guess you've never seen Dune.
No, never.
But
seen it.
This suit. He like flies in this suit.
Okay.
He like hovers around.
This must be some powerful jet fuel.
Yeah, like with wings.
No,
around with wings.
Suit. It's just a suit. He's very disgusting.
Harkonnen.
Yep, Baron Harkonnen. He's very disgusting.
Sounds like a villain name. Is he a bad guy?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The Harkonnens are like warlords.
Has there ever been a good Baron? I don't think there has.
Baron Munchausen.
Baron Munchausen.
The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. Never saw that.
No,
Is
is
that-
that
Is that
Dude.
porno? Yeah.
Oh, fucking kids movie.
Oh, okay.
Eric Idle. Is
Totally opposite spectrum, but okay.
Yeah. He's like a. Oh man, I don't know. He's like almost like a conquistador kind of pirate guy.
those aren't good people?
It all depends on the people.
Conquerors.
I'm a good pirate.
Well, step out of the Transformers world and check Dune out, and check the adventures of Baron Munchausen.
I've heard of
Just
Dune.
a
I've never seen
I
it.
think
I've never
he's
seen
setting
it.
us up for something.
I think he is. I'm going to Google it and be shocked.
Dude, it's so
Is that a cartoon? Is that a cartoon or like a live action movie? Or something?
they're both live action.
So
Okay.
if he's a good pirate, no, I'm sorry to keep dragging this on.
He
Is
do-
he
I
like,
don't know
is
how
he
to
like
explain
is he the Robin Hood of the seas or something
No,
like that?
I don't know how to explain it,
Okay.
and I haven't seen it in a long time. Don't make fun of me.
He's like, don't put me on the spot.
Don't make
Don't make me
fun of-
laugh.
You guys are making fun of me. No, it's good stuff. It's good childhood stuff. He flies. He like travels all around the universe and shit. It's also very strange.
Hmm.
It's very strange.
All right.
It's what you would imagine coming out of a child's imagination.
I gotcha.
It's all over the place.
Does he have a sexy female companion?
If you're a fucking pedophile,
Oh, okay. So
Wait, did you just admit to a young
No.
female? All right, being
no.
all right, just check.
Okay.
God,
Sorry, I'm sinless. I was not good.
no.
Drinking water.
So Dune and the Adventures of Baron von Hausen.
No.
Munchausen.
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 You're gonna have to throw that in the chat.
I'm
Throw me that or
going to
something.
throw it in the chat right now.
All right. Next up, Big Dom. What's going on, man?
Going on, guys?
Are you Munchausen on something
No,
over there?
I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm done with all the munching that I can possibly do this week. My week was calm and nothing too exciting. So nothing too crazy. I actually haven't been going toy hunting. I just all the toys I've been buying are online. Trying to get pre-orders in, and rather than running around and trying to find things. I did pick up pre-ordered that PS1 classic. So.
Oh shit, that's right. I did see a picture of that.
You're gonna trigger me on video games again.
Yeah, I know. So I saw that announcement Monday morning, and I just went up to Target and online, and I saw that they had it, so I pre-ordered it. Took advantage of my 5% Target credit card. So.
Oh, nice.
What PS1 games are that good? Like, I get like the Nintendo. Right?
None of them are good. You just gotta have it. No, there's just some good games. There's some.
Yeah, for its time, you had Resident Evil was big. The first Resident Evil debuted on that system. That was big for when it came out.
Metal Gear Solid was a really good game on PS1. I think Crash Bandicoot didn't Crash Bandicoot.
Crash
come out?
Bandicoot, was that was another popular one.
So, I think Final Fantasy had a good game on there too. So there's a couple. I think there's going to be 20 games. There's going to be 20 games on the system, and I think they just announced the first 5 that are going to be on the system right now. They're slowly creeping on what's going to be on the system. So.
Yeah, I remember Tekken was really popular on that too.
Yep,
Hey
Tekken,
Sony,
yeah.
hey Sony, if you're listening, come up with your own fucking ideas.
Whoa.
Biting off a fucking Nintendo now.
Hey, listen, everybody's gonna want a piece of that pie. You know what I'm saying? Do you, Dom? Do you think it's gonna be like super popular and sell out like the Nintendo's ones did?
I read some articles that they said there's going to be a short run. I think the release is in the beginning of December, so there's going to be a short quantity supplied for this upcoming Christmas season. So I'm sure there's going to be more coming out afterwards. But if anybody wants to get it before Christmas or as a gift for Christmas, you should be pre-ordering it like now if it hasn't sold out already. But they said, like, I read a couple articles. There's going to be a small quantity. I don't know what the definition of what their small quantity means, but like there's going to be a small quantity being released this December, and then obviously they're going to be, after the holidays, it's just going to be, mass like you can find an NES Classic now or a Super NES Classic, no problem. There's rumors that Nintendo might, since Sony, this was all surprise too. Like nobody knew this was coming, and then there has been rumors that Nintendo's was going to do a Nintendo 64 Classic. It was in the works, and I don't know whether Nintendo is going to jump on the burners here and try to issue that out for the holiday season and have a little competition like back in the old days.
Give me some GoldenEye.
Sony versus PlayStation versus Nintendo. Let's do it. So.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a strong enough nostalgic feeling for that, though? Is that?
Oh yeah, dude. Oh, dude.
Yeah, I think at this point it's that 20 years later. I think that's always kind of like the general mark when they try to kind of re-release something like, I think so, because I remember when I got that thing. I think I was 17 when I got my PlayStation for the first time, and I was fucking happy as fuck.
Yeah. And as much as collecting and like. The stuff that we do has gotten very popular. Retro gaming has been getting very popular too. So there's been a big increase in people going back and buying old games and playing old game systems and stuff like that. So,
dude, if we get a Game Boy Classic, I am.
Oh yeah, down. Yeah, me too.
And I want it in that fucking monochrome, fucking green and black, whatever the hell that screen was.
You want an original without any of the upgrades? Wow, that's fucking. I remember that, man. The batteries would just run out so fast. It was always best just if you were near an outlet, if you were able to just keep it plugged in, you were good.
Oh well, you had to buy an adapter for it to. It didn't come with.
Correct.
No, I think
it did. Yes, it did. Never mind. Woo, man. Yeah, it did. My bad.
Brian, did you ever have like the magnifying glass that you put in front of the screen so it made the screen bigger?
Yeah.
It's called Light Boy. It's called Light Boy.
Yeah.
I still have all that stuff.
I actually have it up in my bedroom right now.
That's awesome.
And it still works. Yeah, because I play Tetris sometimes when I can't sleep. On my old Game Boy, yes. So.
Yeah, Gary, they're saying your headset's not working. Like, you don't sound.
I think
clear.
he just needs to put the microphone closer to his mouth.
Is that any better?
Nope.
Yeah.
No, you sound kind of.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I think it's plugged in.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like some people are excited. I was in my upper teens when the PlayStation came out, so it's a cool novelty. But for me, like I'm used to kind of like running emulators and shit like that, so I'm not that excited. But I could understand the appeal of getting a system even on a smaller scale of the exact same thing that came out back.
Yeah, I just think it'd be just cool to have all the shrunken systems like right on your little console, and just they have them there and stuff, and have the actual size controllers and stuff. The downside, I think, is the controllers are not the analog controllers; it's a D-pad controller. So, they're going to be the games kind of are going to be just the ones utilizing the D-pad. So any analog game that Sony PlayStation 1 put out, there's probably not going to be on the system because.
You say analog, you mean like those joystick thingies?
The joystick things, the thumb things.
But that's how the original controllers were,
Yep. When they first came out was the D-pad. Yep.
Yeah.
So they're sticking to the classic. So I'm sure they're going to come out with a PlayStation 1 analog and put out the games that were meant for the analog and everything like that.
Or like Nyko or one of those companies they'll make wireless ones because I'm sure they'll be
Mad Cats.
Yeah, like one of those companies will have them.
That still exists. Oh.
Mad Cats, yeah, they always gave you the souped up controllers. You could
Yeah.
have the turbo and everything. Yeah, that was cool. That shit would fucking was life, like in Contra and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You just fucking spray gun would just always be going. You know, Gary, do you know what I'm talking about? You ever played Contra before? If you say no, I'm gonna be like, man.
Yeah, I vote he gets booted.
He's looking it up.
I can't hear you. I can't
No,
hear you.
is he texting us saying no?
Oh yeah, your mic doesn't work at all now.
Whatever you did, I can't even hear you now.
You broke
it. He's gonna say he didn't play Contra. That's.
I thought he was looking it up.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I played as the blue guy all the time.
You got to tell me what the code was for the Contra. Yeah. Up, down, left, right, BA, select, start. Right.
He's gonna be like, that's another technique that I use for something else. But
dude, I'm gonna try that.
Man. He's gonna fix it. He's gonna get his thing fixed. All right, Brian Brink.
Yo, trying to fix it. Anybody? Anything?
Yep.
There,
you're back, brother.
You're
back.
Just time to interrupt me.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't have much to say. What's up, guys? What's up? No interesting YouTube viewing. I'm not watching mousetrap videos anymore, but I'm still watching people smash things on hydraulic presses and burn things up with hot metal steel balls and stuff like that. But Gary, you were talking about your concert experience and how it started late. And that reminds me, believe it or not, on my 21st birthday, my dad took me to Atlantic City. So all my friends were not of age yet. So technically, who the hell was I going to hang out with on my 21st birthday? So he took me to Atlantic City to catch a Lionel Richie concert, of all things.
What?
Yeah. And, he took me to a nice dinner and stuff. But the thing is, the dinner was after the concert. And old Mr. Richie, man, took his sweet ass fucking time coming on stage to start that show. And my dad was pissed. And I swear, after the concert was over, we kind of had to hold him back. He was so mad that we were going to miss these dinner plans, that the reservations. He was actually starting to march down there. And he's like, I want to go talk to him and tell him about being punctual and stuff. I was like, what? Oh man, and my stepmom is just like, dude, what the hell is all this? I don't know what the hell. I guess I don't know. It's strange. But anyway, if my dad's coming to see you sing or play or whatever, you better fucking be on time.
Be on time. Invite him out. Be prompt.
So did he play just like his own shit, or did he play like Commodore stuff, or what?
Yeah, a couple oldies in there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Such a long time ago. Oh my god, I'm like almost double that age now. Holy shit.
So talking. Well, actually, I'll wait. I have a question.
Oh, I'm done. So go right ahead.
I don't. No, we'll finish up with the intro. So I want to hear how Jose's week.
He said he was done. Go ahead, bro.
Well, who's next? Is it Dom?
No, it's Jose. It's Jose.
Jose.
Oh, me? I got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Same old, usual work week, low key weekend. Didn't really do much of anything.
Are you checking the list? Checking them twice? Doing all your Santa duties? Because I know you're growing out that beard for something.
Oh, dude, yes. Yes.
Yeah,
but so you could all rub it down when I see you guys in person in about 4 weeks.
That was on my top of my list.
When I hug you next time, I want to get tangled together.
God.
Yeah. It is getting to the point where I'm like, damn, like I do almost want to cut it, but then I'm like, nah, let me just leave it. Just let it go.
Don't touch it.
He's just trying to get ahead for the next wellness challenge, so he can lose an extra couple pounds there and shaves that off.
It's like 10 pounds. Chin hair.
Oh, I know if I try to trim it myself, I'm gonna have to cut it down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm leaving it alone. Go ahead, G. I'm done.
I just, I just hit because it was also part of my concert experience, and I'll share this. It's kind of silly, but maybe it prompts a good question about, and take this like for what it is, right? Don't let your mind wander. But trying new experiences, right, and doing something new for the first time. I took my first, and I know Jose, you do this all the time, but I took my first Uber when we went to go see the show.
Nice.
I don't know. It was kind of funny. It was like, I'd never had a reason to do it before, with travel or anything like that. And, kind of just having my own car everywhere and not being like in an urban environment for quite a while. And it was quite fascinating. I'm like, this is far easier on the app. It's like, oh, Christine shows up in her Nissan Murano and picks us up. And,
Yeah.
So-and-so picked us up in his Camry. I'm like, this is great. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, man, it's good. You don't have to worry about giving them any money. You could tip them in the app if you want to. And how was the like compared to home to where were you going? Was it far? And then they try to charge you a lot?
No, it was really easy because we stayed at the hotel, which also was unique because it was the Intercontinental, and all I kept thinking about was John Wick the whole time while we were there. But
Oh, the Continental, yeah.
Nice. My wife set it up. I'm like, oh, this place is great. I was like, the name alone is phenomenal. But it was just one of those things where we were parked in the garage, and it was too far to walk to the venue. Not that I wanted to do that in DC at like midnight when it was done anyway. But it just would have been a hassle to get the car out of the garage and then just park, a couple miles away. So we just set it up. I was just like, I know people have been doing this for years and years and years, but I'm like, it's pretty damn easy.
Yeah. It's definitely different, man. When you're going, I'm sorry, when you're going from that, like you said, you drive yourself everywhere, and now you're in an urban environment where you maybe public transportation or something like that might be a little bit more convenient than taking your car out.
But I was just getting a kick out of it. I'm like, look at me, G Money, riding to Washington D.C., going to see Kevin Hart in an Uber, right? I was like, man, I'm growing up, I'm trying new stuff.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
I'm a big kid now.
Yeah,
I used Uber today coming home because I usually walk home from work, but I mean it was coming down pretty hard. If I would have tried to walk it, I would have gotten soaked, dude. I would have gotten soaked.
So what?
I just Ubered it home, and paid less than normal.
You're already aerodynamic. You just have to run. You probably won't get wet.
But is there anything like that you guys have like kind of done where maybe you were like kind of late to the party, catching up? I don't know, or just try something that like has been around for a while and for whatever reason that just you never got around to doing it, or
I know what Dave's question. I know what Dave's answer would be to this.
Oh boy,
condoms.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I didn't know.
Like Gary, what are you talking about? Like kale chips or something like that, or
I'm trying. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what else might be a comparison to it.
I was late to the party on Facebook.
Yeah, so that's a good example, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like social media stuff, or
I'm there with Brian. I was late to the party with Facebook.
Maybe a music app, I don't know, stuff like that like people have been doing, and you're like, yeah, I wasn't really interested, and then you try it and you're like, why was I waiting so long? I'm like, this is great.
Oh dude, I could probably come up with some good examples for that. I just need to think.
Damn, yeah, I would have to think too. I remember not liking YouTube in the beginning, like, what I'm saying, and because I remember when YouTube first dropped. And considering what we do now here with the podcast and how big it's grown, like since how long it's been, like over 10 years, like it's been around. I remember when it first dropped, and I'm like, why the fuck would anybody want to see a video
Right.
of me like online, like what I'm saying, doing whatever? Like who the fuck would care about that without thinking about the possibilities of podcasting, doing your own kind of thing and just putting it out there? People will just watch anything. Like, what I'm saying?
When I first heard about it, I didn't use search engines a lot, and I kept trying to do like www.u, like the letter U, tube.com. I was like, this doesn't work. And then for some reason I remember distinctly typing in like YOO tube for some reason. I can't find this fucking thing.
I was late to Easy Pass. I would think I was late to game and Easy Pass because I was always take the cash. But now, like since I've been using Easy Pass, it's like, well, how would I not live without this thing?
Dom, me too, man. I prided myself in having an exact change in the car all the time.
Yeah. I don't have change in the car. I used to have like my cup holders filled with quarters and dimes and nickels and shit.
driving on the Garden State Parkway every 5 miles. Give us 35 cents. Like,
exactly. Back in the day, right, Brian? Right, right. I remember, like, you're scrounging for change and like looking under your seat and shit, and you're like, oh my god, I need another 10 cents. I need another 10 cents.
And I used to be like, yeah, man. I was like, I'm gonna breeze past these bastards in the exact change line. Fuck yeah, man, baller.
Oh well. Man, I didn't even have a cell phone until like probably 2010.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah,
that shit.
that's coming in kind of late. Yeah, I remember for me it was 2006, and even that was probably like a little bit late, compared to when they first started coming out. I always feel like technology, I was always kind of like a little bit behind. Like I didn't mess with computers like really like a lot until like maybe 2000, 2001. Yeah, I remember not liking. I remember when iPods came out, and then you were able to kind of, again, technology early. You were able to kind of put the MP3s on your phone, and I remember kind of like not liking that in the beginning. I used to like to have a separate iPod for like my music and stuff. I
did that too.
I'm like, why would I fucking want my music on my phone and shit like that? And now you realize the convenience of just having everything on one fucking device.
Jose, so you don't strike me as this kind of guy, but was it because you liked having a lot of devices on your belt, like Batman? Is that why you want?
I don't know. It's just it's weird. It's just weird.
No,
I don't know.
I was like that too with my iPod Classic. It's like the video one that I got. I don't know, probably like 08, 07 or 08, and I had it forever because it was so like chunky. Like I could take it to the gym, and it was in the case, and if it fell, I didn't worry about it. And it lasted until probably about 2 years ago, and it finally just was done. Like it wouldn't do anything anymore. And I remember getting almost laughed at Best Buy, like, because I was like, I just want another regular iPod, because I didn't want to, same thing, I didn't want to use my phone in the event that it falls out of my pocket there, or falls off one of the machines or something, or I drop something on it. And the guy was like, yeah, we don't even sell those anymore. He's like, I can try and see if some store has one left somewhere for you. He's like, if you feel like that, he's like, you just use an old cell phone. Use one of your old phones. I'm like, yeah, all right.
It's funny that you bring that up, because my mom always had those simple phones, like simple cell phones. Like you could just, to pick up the number, you hit the green phone sign, and you hit that button, and you'll pick up the call. So my dad just bought her a new iPhone, and she's like, the phone rings, and how you have to swipe, swipe to answer the call. And she's like, how do I answer this call?
Phone answer.
Pick up. It was funny.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything else, but that's some good stuff, man. That's a good one. There's still like a lot of things out there that's popular that I don't even try to, like Snapchat. I've never downloaded that, and that's the thing that everybody seems to be on. I never got on like Periscope. That's like kind of like a video app or something like that. Very popular for a bit. I don't know if it still is. Never jumped on that. So.
I haven't got on Instagram yet. So
you're on there because I tag you in photos.
Yeah, I'm on.
He created an account and then he jumped off.
That's how fat. That's pretty much how I put my foot in the pool, and that's it.
Yeah. I don't know if it applies to most of us on this panel. But all these dating apps and technology, let me tell you, I've got a lot of younger associates, on my store teams, the team I had back in Maryland, and then this team as well. And just, not that I really want to be involved, because I don't, but just a little bit I hear about just the technology and how it's affected that is pretty interesting. Let's just leave it there.
Yeah.
There's apps and stuff that they talk about that I've never even heard of before. So yeah, it's interesting.
If it don't got toys and porn, I ain't interested.
Toys and porn.
Yeah, it is, and again, I don't even dare try to download any one of those things that you just mentioned, Gary, because you know how that is. But my boy at work, he told me about one that's like if you have it and whoever else has it, like whenever you're like in close proximity, it'll kind of like go off and tell you. So it's kind of like where you could kind of meet like a stranger, like in a way. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking crazy. You know, so
I think on Nerd Rage they were talking about there's pretty soon you're just gonna install an app on your phone, put in your shit, and it's just gonna ping you like, hey, you have a date with so and so on Tuesday. Like they're just gonna make the match for you. Like they're gonna know when you're free on your calendar and all that other shit, and they're like, and all of a sudden like your phone starts vibrating. It's like, press to accept or decline. You're like,
press. Phone's gonna be yelling at you. I made a date for Friday. You haven't got laid in 3 months. Loser.
Soon enough, your phone will just do that for you.
And she's a 7. You're not going for the 9 this time.
It's just like taking all the work out of it, man. Yeah. But I remember how it was growing up, man. We didn't have the technology then. So you wanted to rap to somebody, you had to have the balls just to kind of go ahead and do it. Like, do you agree? Like, I mean, having the technology to kind of just even the ability to send somebody a text, an email or something like that. It's a very easy way to break the ice. It's not like going up to like a person, somebody in person and trying to do that, like yourself. So it's interesting to think about the differences between like us growing up and having to kind of do that. And now like how that scene is today with all these online apps and all these different ways to meet people.
Call a landline, right? To talk to, like you said, even talk to someone, you had to run the risk of like an older sibling, guy or girl, right?
A parent,
hard time. A parent, turn on the manners, right? And show good manners, but not sound like a total kiss ass either. I remember getting like that was like more stressful than actually trying to talk to the actual person you're trying to get a hold of, hoping that they'd pick up.
It's just so disconnected now. It doesn't, it's a shame.
Is that how you feel? Because I feel like everybody's more connected than ever and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got the World Wide Web.
Yeah,
it's easy.
In a way, but it's not. Yeah, it's impersonal. It's not.
Yeah, I think that's the word you're looking at. It's the human part of it is not there because when you're chatting online, you all know Facebook chats. Facebook chats is
hey, how are you doing?
People tend to say things that they don't typically would say if you're in front of a person. Yep. So at the end of the day, with being connected online, I always relate it to like a phone call. Like you can be anybody on the phone and talk, and at the end of the day, if you're not seeing that person, that's a whole different experience. That's like talking in front of a person and them seeing you're a little bit different than talking on a phone or even not online now these days. So.
Well, I'm sure we'll probably talk about it, but so the Bumblebee trailer, right? Everyone talked about came out, and you kind of see it takes place in the '80s, right?
Woohoo.
And I don't know whether it's that movie, Stranger Things, those series and shows, the Glow, right, on Netflix, another one. Like when you get to see just what life looks like without all the technology overshadowing everything, it's especially when you lived at least part of it, growing up, it's pretty fascinating. But it's it's definitely different.
Or vice versa, Gary, right? Or watch movies in the 80s that tell us that show the future, and you have flying cars, and you're like, where the fuck are those things?
We're fucking disappointed. Back to the Future 2 said we should have had flying cars by now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Shout out to 2015.
Right.
Exactly.
But go back and look at Star Trek from the 60s, right? And the freaking tricorder, right, is the same thing as your phone, really. They just use that thing for anything and anything they needed it to do. And so, I don't know, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I think when I first got my first smartphone, I think one of the first apps I downloaded from the App Store was a tricorder app. I was like, this thing looks like a tricorder.
It's funny that you bring that up, Gary, because I remember when I was like, I think it was in Disney, they had like a ride that basically showed the future. I think it was called Horizons, and in that you could pick the future, and it'll take you through the future. And I remember there was one where it was like a phone call. A granddaughter was calling their grandma, and the phone rings, and her picture shows up on a screen, and they're talking one-on-one. And back in like the 80s, that wasn't possible. Like, you know, you didn't see that, you know. And now these days you have FaceTime, and you know, you talk with people on the phone, and you see their faces, and you're talking back and forth through a screen. And it's like, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, that was like, you know, when I saw that, I was like, wow, when can that happen? Like, when is that going to ever happen? And we're living it now. So
Yeah.
Oh man, I just found my tricorder app, and I just updated my phone like a couple weeks ago, and it doesn't work on this version of the OS. I'm so sad.
Wait, did you get a new phone, Brian, or did you?
No,
update
I
the
just
operating system?
finally updated because iOS 12 is coming out soon, so I always like to have one below. I know it's an odd thing, but but like, I don't know if you guys ever played G1 Awakening. It was a Transformers like game that was out years ago. That was kind of interesting.
That sounds familiar. Yeah,
It was
sounds
like
familiar.
move by move. You can only move like one square or whatever.
Yes. I like that. That was a cool little game, little strategy game.
My lightsaber app, where I could like wave my phone around as a lightsaber, doesn't work anymore.
I had that. I'll admit to that.
You can still make the noise out from your mouth.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Oh my god.
Going back to that trailer though, like, anybody, your thoughts on it, guys? You know, you want to go around?
I'll be tuning out. I didn't even watch it.
You haven't?
Nope.
You didn't watch it? Well, you've seen the pictures and shit, right? Have you seen the pictures floating around online?
Yeah, you know, I think the last thing I saw about it was the whole Blitzwing thing. That was the last thing I saw about it.
That's old. The whole Blitzwing shit is old. They said you haven't seen any of the pics floating around now with Shockwave and Soundwave
and Optimus. No?
Nope. Oh. I think I'm sitting this one out. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know, man. Like,
you're not willing to give it a chance. Well, you said you're sitting out the movie, like you're not even gonna bother watching it.
Probably not.
Yeah. What happened last night just gave you such a bad fucking taste in your mouth, like you're done.
Just all of it. And but
JD, you didn't see the stuff that they just showed.
Yeah, but like,
okay,
so the stuff that they showed, do you guys think that this is like a reboot?
That's a 30-second flashback. Fucking.
You think so?
It's gonna be like 2 minutes of the film. Like,
I'll be.
I don't know. They might be setting this up as a reboot, and then maybe another movie. They'll do the next Transformer movie in Cybertron, and bring back some of the characters that we're going to be seeing in the G1 concepts.
It's so weird looking. I mean, obviously, I guess maybe they haven't finished the CGI for the stuff on Cybertron, but it's like so different. It is. I don't know,
but the characters are actually recognizable now. So that's actually the big difference, because that was the big criticism of the original Bay films, is that you couldn't recognize these characters. Now we can.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. When I saw Soundwave's chest open up and Ravage popping out, dude, my jaw dropped. I was like, no, they just did not do that. Because you know,
has anyone been trolling yet, saying that's not Soundwave, that's Astro Train?
I've seen the memes. Yeah, I've seen the memes and shit.
It'd be interesting. I like to see what they're doing, and you know, it's nice that they. I don't know whether they added that in due to the fact that if it is like a 2-minute or 5-minute, like flashback type of thing, whether they added that in from all the hoopla that like we don't for the G1ers, they're saying we don't like the Bayverse stuff, so they just threw that in and maybe just to get us hyped up about it. But
I did hear that criticism, because they said like the two cars that you see on Earth, and those still look kind of like Bayverse, but then you're seeing the robots on Cybertron and they look G1.
Yeah, and
so people were saying like it looks like that's the Bayverse look was the original look they were going for, and then maybe kind of try to pivot. Midway through
that. But that little short scene with the guy, like the plane, the jet that turns into a car, and like that whole one run where it's like flying and he lands and he turns into a car, transforms into a car. That's pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks good. I mean, I'm always. I didn't see the last night in the theater. But the rest of them I always did. So you know what? Like I know that they're trying to reboot it. I feel like they're almost sending like a mixed signal because supposedly they're still saying like it's a prequel to the original, Transformers. But it does look like they're going in a new direction with the designs and stuff
But
and the storyline.
but the funny thing
So
is, they show the Hoover Dam. Like, so
yes, they did. They
are
did.
they because who's in the Hoover Dam. You
Yeah.
know what two objects are in the Hoover Dam. So
Mm-hmm.
so at the end of the day, like I don't know whether are they tying that back, and is that story being played out, and we're gonna get like some scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I gave my 2 cents just about the time frame, so I always have a little bit of a soft spot, just because of when it's supposed to take place. But it did look just a little bit like maybe some of the CG and the transformation got slowed down just a little bit, from the Bay movies, and maybe a little less of the gears and the motion and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I think we all know what to expect, but it looks as if it could be entertaining. And even if it is almost like the '07 movie, kind of a bit repetitive, I'd probably be entertained in seeing it.
Yeah, well, they're going to an old formula, so it's kid meets car, first car type of formula. So I think they're going to be safe with that, and the story's going to be that's going to be the underlying story. But I'll be interested in seeing how it ends and whether they show something that continues this or whether they just kill it off.
Well, and it's the formula that works, right? It doesn't. It's not just like kid meets the car from like '07. It's like E.T. It's like Harry Potter. It's like The Last Starfighter, right? All that stuff. If someone has a unique skill or they make a special connection, they're different, and introduces them to some type of other environment where there's a conflict that they have to help be supportive.
Yeah.
Well, dude, yeah, if it's a good story, man, I'm game. So I'll go see it.
I just watched it, by the way.
What'd you think?
Okay. So what do you think?
It reminds me of the movie Flipper.
Free Willy.
Free Willy. Like,
Boy meets whale.
Yeah.
Whale. Boy feels sorry for whale.
Mm-hmm. And then kind of has like an Iron Giant feel, like they're biting off Iron Giant. Kind of.
Oh, that's a good movie.
Yeah, I know.
What are you feeling, JD? Do you feel like it might be like too little, too late? Like they're finally giving us some G1 designs, but
Yeah,
like,
they got the Optimus, they got Shockwave, they got Soundwave and Ravage,
Tetradets.
Yeah,
some of the jets. Yeah. Cybertron looked pretty official too. Looked like Cybertron.
Yeah.
This quick shot that you saw of it.
But that's funny because we have seen Cybertron and we have seen like footage in the Bayverse, and it doesn't like I'm surprised that they changed it up that much. So.
I mean,
it's like an alternate fucking reality of like the Bayverse, like almost the Bayverse, but not quite. Mirror alternate universe maybe. I don't fucking know what they're doing here, but
I was gonna say like maybe the way I feel about it is just because I am completely bored with Transformers in general. They're not putting any new toys out or anything like that. It's probably why I feel the way I do.
Well, I mean, they're putting out some toys, I think.
Like,
it's not ones you're interested in, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
so JD,
from the official mainline stuff, yeah.
Are you bummed at all about that? Because I know what you're saying.
I am bummed, but at the same time, like, okay, well, if you're not gonna keep up with Masterpiece releases, or you're gonna keep updating the same figure,
right?
Yeah, whatever. Fuck you. You don't have my money. You're gonna keep trying to sell me the same fucking thing over and over and over and over again. I'm out. Done. I'm not, but you know what I mean.
I was just thinking because someone who like I said, had to just pack up their whole collection, and I know there's a lot of other people in the R.O.C. have done this before. And then as you are set, I'm setting stuff up, but it makes you look at certain things, and it's like I miss some of the passion and the excitement around it. So maybe I'm
like
hoping
over the weekend we went through and like restaged all this stuff again. And I'm like, I'm looking at all these Transformers, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with all these?
You know,
Like, what the fuck is the point of having these?
I've been looking at mine for the past few weeks. I've been kind of thinking the same thing. I'm like,
I got all frustrated and shit.
Yeah. So,
But is that due to just the fact that we've been in it for so long, and it's just some kind of it's the just seeing it all the time and being with like I think sometimes my frustration comes
Star
from
Wars
it because
is no different. That's no different. I was in Star Wars before I was in Transformers.
True, but I think with Star Wars you have a stronger source. Like I think with Star Wars, the source material is a little bit stronger than Transformers. I think at this point, like there's nothing backing Transformers to the point where it's giving it strength and some motivation. I think that's where it's falling short.
I think
with other lines.
I think JD's suffering from mythic poisoning.
Yeah, exactly. And
I did buy all the birds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the films are the main driving vehicle for Transformers now to kind of to have the brand be out there. Besides, the animated series that they're putting out, and you got some of the mobile app games that you could kind of download and play. But the movies are probably like the number one thing that puts this brand in the forefront of people's eyes and minds.
Yeah,
so if those aren't successful, then the brand might not be successful.
And it hasn't. And then there's nothing really picking up, even from the cartoon's perspective, to keep the older collectors like us, interested in any type of source material. So I think that's where they're like, and we know now, like even with the new cartoon that's coming out, it's more geared toward kids. It's not geared towards us. So, they're trying to use more of that, rescue bots formula and make it more kid friendly type of field. So.
Hey, how would you guys feel about the Transformers movies, except for the last one that came out? Maybe, like if there were no toys or collectibles, and you're simply watching this for the story aspects, such as, say, the Harry Potter films. And
I'd kill myself.
Yeah. No? So
the story is horrible.
I mean, what if? Yeah, but would you like the movies better, perhaps, if you didn't have those nostalgia goggles?
I would say no to that, because
no?
I think we cling towards what we know, and then these movies really didn't advance our love for it. I'm speaking for myself. I like some of these movies were nice to see, and play homage to some of the old characters that I love, but like it's that old that I'm holding on. That's what I truly love, and they haven't increased that love for anything that I used to, that I relate to Transformers. So I feel like it did more damage than good in that respect.
I mean, if it had a good story and it was directed well and wasn't full of Botox-filled women, it would be fine.
And character builds on some of the, the robots, that would be something interesting. But they didn't do that.
Yeah, so maybe with this movie, maybe they'll do some of those things, and then
I would hope so.
And then screw the nostalgia, just move forward. Like for instance,
tell a good story.
Yeah. So for instance, for me, like I'm in a bit of a blissful spot with the MCU, right? The Marvel movies, where the only Marvel stuff I read as a kid was Secret Wars, and that was it, right? Other than that, my exposure was through cartoons and things. So anything that they put in these movies that pulled from other story sources through the comic book runs or anything else, like I am oblivious to all of that. And as a result, like when these new Marvel movies come out, even if it's like Ant-Man and the Wasp and not a huge blockbuster like Infinity War or whatever, I look forward to all of them because I think they're all great telling stories and whatnot. And I do collect figures for it, but it's not like, hey, I can't wait for the next Marvel movie because I can't wait to see what toys I get next. Like, it's not like that at all. I just really like that run of movies, kind of thing. Yeah. And I wish, I don't know, I'm hoping maybe this Bumblebee is a stepping stone to something like that, right? They take their brand seriously and just put out a good product, all right? And so it could happen. There's no reason why they can't do it.
I
But
agree
like,
with you, Brian. It's like look at it actually very similarly, to tell you the truth, because on one hand, it's like not just lowering your expectations, but I think just trying to look at something for the sheer entertainment factor from it, and not feeling that you have to commit to buying merchandise and toys and all that stuff that goes with it every time. So, I remember like the '07 Transformers movie, really enjoying seeing that. I think I saw that in the theater like 3 times, and I didn't really like the toys once I saw them or anything else, but it was just fun to me. And Marvel, very similar. I don't have a lot of vested interest in reading, uh, so I enjoy them. Star Wars, kind of the opposite, where I was really invested in every single comic and novelization, and so I have stronger feelings, and I don't enjoy those movies. The last several that came out the same way. So I think it's like you said, it's just kind of detaching yourself maybe and not taking it quite as involved. Is that the right
Yeah,
word?
it's like what Cypher said in the original Matrix: "Ignorance is bliss."
It's
Yeah,
true. It's very
I guess it sucks though that they are recycling these old properties. So I mean, it's a shame they just can't. I'd rather them come out with a whole new thing of of transforming robots and not call them Transformers and let people whine that they're knockoff
GoBots.
of the original, but
Mm.
still just have it be awesome.
Yeah, but to what you said, Brian, like for me, like with the original Transformers films that we got with Bay and stuff, like nostalgia didn't really play like a factor for me because I realized like very young that like whenever I read like a comic or watched a cartoon and then you saw that property get translated into a film, it always changed. It was never the same from the original content, the original property. So I realized when they were doing the base stuff, it's going to change. It's modern times. It's not the 80s. It's not going to be what we got back in the day. And then like Gary, the original Transformers movie, I think a lot of people found enjoyable, like initially, like it, because it's the first time like we're seeing, kind of the characters and just the property itself. I don't even want to say the characters, just the property done in a live action format like that with the big budget and special effects and stuff like that. And you could say what you want about the designs, but it was cool to see that, and I remember when that shit came out, people that weren't into the franchise were like, oh, this thing is awesome. And they knew I was into it. And they were like, oh, what do you think? And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. And, it was cool. And, I know JD, the movies, they're not any great pieces of cinema. Like the stories aren't the best. Like I feel like you could cut like a good half an hour out of each of them and they'd be a much better film. Like if you just cut out some of that fucking
two hours
nonsense.
of them.
I just
But I
just-
don't think overall that they're that bad. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Now-
they didn't focus on the robots. It was always on
it was
Sam
more
and
human.
the human characters.
Now, like I can totally agree with you. When the first movie came out, like leading up to it, I was so fucking excited. Like I went to school with this girl and she got me and my friends like pre-screen tickets to see it. So we got to see it like a week before anybody else saw it. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
So
That always ups the fun factor too.
Yeah. So we went in there and they like gave all kinds of, got like posters and all kinds of crazy shit that they were giving away. But I was excited, you know what I mean? And I enjoyed it. We all had a good time, but like they just kept going and they were like the same thing over and over again. And the story just got more, just jumbled around.
It got all wacky with who was the bad guy in the second movie again?
They're killing people off and then bringing
the Fallen,
back in
the Fallen
next fucking movie and
the Fallen and all these different primes and
I didn't like how
blah, blah.
Megatron was like subservient to the Fallen. I'm like,
Exactly.
The Fallen was like the boss. I'm like, no, Megatron is supposed to be the fucking boss, and he's kowtowing to this.
I think to kind of go off of what Gary said, like Star Wars is so rich in material. There's so many different comics out there for so many different characters, and then Transformer stuff, they don't bother doing anything like that. I think it suffers because of that. We got the movies and like maybe one comic book series.
Which
you know what I mean? Like at a time. You know what I mean? At a time. Like the Star Wars universe, the Marvel universe. I mean, the Marvel's kind of a different story just because it is character based and every character has their own book, you know, their own series or whatever. But, you know, maybe they could do something like that and it would make it more interesting.
So
I just feel they got lazy. Like they just got lazy. It's like they put up a good movie. They told a good start to a story, and then
Drop the ball.
You know, they had they knew something, that they had something good in their hands, and they're like, we got to continue this. We got to continue this, and they didn't do their homework. They didn't say, okay, what storyline? How can we continue this story and not just worry about the next movie, but the movies after this, and continue telling a story, have plot twists, have character builds, and try to keep the audience engaged. And I just think they got lazy. They're just like, well, let's just don't fuck that. And you can blame it. You can blame it on the writer's strike, because I think the writer's strike happened during Revenge of the Fallen. And
but I don't think at that time there would be hard to find a writer that'd be willing to write.
Exactly.
A lot of shit got fucked up during that time.
Yeah.
Aren't there scabs that can write? I mean, when there's a writer's strike, are you allowed to?
I'll fucking
have anyone write, and the director just has to all right, I'm just gonna shoot a camera and you say shit. I don't understand. You can find someone to write stuff. I mean, or only these? I don't know. Maybe there's only good writer. I don't know.
I don't know how the strike was. I don't know the detail of the strike. I'm assuming it's like unions. So if you're a writer and you're part of the union, regardless whether you want to agree with the strike, you have to be part of the strike. So it's like finding somebody, a no name, to write something. Maybe the confidence was there because you have a multi-million-dollar studio putting this up, and they want a legit writer. But that writer was in a strike because he's part of the union, and at the end of the day, you can't get that individual. Well, I'm sure
you can just find someone on the street. Maybe
I'm sure, but would
one of these talented YouTube people come up with some crazy shit?
But I would think a studio who's putting up all this money is not going to go, yeah, who's writing the story? Oh, this guy named Bob. Nah, that ain't gonna work. So I feel like they just got lazy and they just were trying to force these movies out just so they know they can make $1 billion. And,
I mean, let's think about
what they were.
The kids were the people working for Hasbro. They didn't grow up with this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
they're young engineers or whatever designers. You know what I mean? They're like fresh out of fucking school.
Yeah.
They didn't grow up with this shit. They don't know what it is. Why would they fucking care?
Yeah.
We're just gonna make this guy cool.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't written. I mean, those original movies, I don't think were written, especially with Michael Bay directing. They weren't made with the G1 fan in mind. They were just thinking, hey, Transformers, we're putting this on the big screen. But it was completely different than what we had as children. But you know what? To an extent, I have to say that's okay, because I know if it wasn't for those films, like the property probably wouldn't be where it's at today. Who knows if it would still be around today without those films?
This is true.
And those first four were extremely successful. It was just this fucking last one. Even though a lot of the people within our community don't like them in general. But they were extremely successful, except for this last one.
And you're absolutely right, Jose. They were definitely cash cows to generate what we have now. And there's nobody can argue that. But and there's a whole community, a whole new fan base that enjoys those movies, and those are their G1. That at the end of the day, they love it because there is a market for them still. Obviously, because they're still, they're doing movie masterpiece figures. They're selling those figures. And, I can tell you right now, leader class figures and any movie line are twice, triple the value of what they sold for in stores right now. So if you want a leader class figure from any of the older movie lines, they're worth a lot of money. And, that just speaks to there is a fan base out there that wants these things. So
it's that saying, though, you got to be careful what you wish for, right? Because, I don't know, go back 2 years ago, and not on this show, but a lot of shows and just in our conversations of the fandom, everybody was, why are there three different companies making Trailbreaker all at once, right? Why are there three different companies making Inferno as a character? and you had all these great options to pick from, and then all of a sudden here we are now where there's just like really nothing going on, right? Unless you're into like the Legends. There's been a lot of talk about that, but you know, if the movies go away completely, then you know, what do you have? I guess.
I mean, do you guys think that we would not have gotten MP10 without these movies?
No, I don't think we would have got MP10.
Right,
I don't think we would have got Devastator from just the regular line. I don't think we would have got.
Well, hold on. I'm not saying.
I think we would have.
No,
I'm just saying,
I don't
like,
think so.
without MP10, you know, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here, but I know Grimlock and Starscream and stuff came out before that. But I mean, the third-party companies that are making these things, I want to say they were inspired by the MP line that was coming out, right? So, and I know a lot of people say without the Bayverse stuff, Hasbro Takara wouldn't have taken a risk on, you know, putting out more of the Masterpiece Transformers, right? So I'm speaking to this in regards to, you know, a Fans Toys interview that SCU had their first year, where it's basically the, you know, whatever the hell the guy's name is, said, it's like, we just want to contribute to this line. And then obviously other companies got on board and like, we can do this, you know, that's why we have so many. But I'm just wondering if that would never have happened if the MP line stopped at Masterpiece Grimlock, right? Was it Grimlock and then, or Rodimus? I think Rodimus.
Yeah,
Rodimus.
So, I like Brian. I think if the movie flopped, say like the 2007 movie flopped, and they would not make a second one because obviously it didn't bring up the box office numbers. I don't think any of this stuff would have been going on right now. None of it, because they wouldn't invest the money in it.
I'd say half of it. Half of it would still be.
I bet you $100. I swear that where Generations line has gone, I bet you it would never happen. Like
we wouldn't have gotten Transformers Prime. I don't think we would have gotten Transformers Prime.
Exactly.
Because that kind of drew inspiration from G1, but also those Bay films.
And from the Bay films and the movies, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it could be a very, very different game if you know, they didn't, you know, make those films.
And here we are 11 years later, and I'm wondering if my life is worse or better for it.
Yeah, exactly. It would have saved a lot of money.
So I think Sportimus in the chat, he was basically describing Bumblebee as a soft reboot. So I get that. Maybe they're looking to do new things, but maybe keep some of the old stuff that worked, you know, and so trying to make something new, so, you know, turning chicken salad into chicken, you know, chicken shit into chicken salad. So I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it's cool that they're kind of now maybe, you know, showing a little bit more love to kind of those G1 designs, making some of the characters a little bit more recognizable. And time will tell, I guess, when this film comes out, whether it's just a bullshit quick, like, hey, we just threw this in to kind of maybe shut the G1 fans up, or if, you know, this is something that they're gonna really, really get behind. But I thought this Bumblebee film was kind of already in the works before they kind of put the kibosh on these Bay films. So do you think they're gonna do anything past this film?
If the movie does well, I would think yes.
Yeah, I agree.
And at this point, I don't think they need to cater to the old fans anymore. I mean, I know the Generations line is chock full of G1, you know, characters right now, you know, like the Siege or whatever that's coming. But I mean, we've seen, I mean, they've moved on, right? This Bumblebee technically is the same character from the Bay films, which all the kids love, right? And you know, the collector line is moving towards Beast Wars at this time. I mean, they gotta chase after that that segment of the, you know, fandom right now. So, or that generation of the fandom, I should say. And, you know, I mean, why do we need these good movies? I don't know. Maybe, I mean, the people that are in our age bracket, there's some properties that have done really well. Well, there's one. Marvel's done really well. You know, in regards to guarding the characters of old and putting them in a modern setting. Transformers had their shot. DC had their shot. You know, we're moving on, man.
I mean, you can even kind of lump
Yes.
Star Wars in there too. Disney's done
Yeah.
the same thing. They're kind of
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
But like,
I'm sorry. Go, JD.
okay. So like, I mean, if you think about why Star Wars was made, okay, he wanted a property where he could make bank and sell fucking toys. So he came up with a good story because I mean, he was a director first, you know. But and that was like his way to getting that, and why, you know, there are these lines. Yeah, my point is like the Siege line that's coming out. You got the Power of the Prime stuff. Like there's no real fiction behind it. At least not that I know of. You know what I mean? They did those Ex Machina shorts or whatever, but that was shit. They could have, you know, after making all the money they've made off of these movies, they could have very easily hired a decent studio and made a good cartoon aside from Prime, or, you know what I mean?
Well,
They could add a little bit more to it. There's so many, like the Generations line. There was nothing to back it. They were just making toys.
Yeah, they were just going off of nostalgia and
Yeah.
hey, let's you know, we have this fan base because, you know, BotCon was growing every year, and you know they seen that this fan base is growing and growing and growing, and they said, you know what, let's appeal to this and we can make some money. But then I think the movies is what took it to the next level. And I think this Bumblebee movie is, if it does good in the box office and it gets the numbers, it's going to dictate whether that reboot's going to come faster or is it going to come slower. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it does really well, I see a reboot or another movie coming in another, you know, 2 years.
Yeah.
If it doesn't do well, a reboot is not going to come out until another 3 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think that's how they're going to play it. And you know, I'm interested. I'm hoping that scenes that we saw in the trailer and not a 2-minute flashback kind of thing, and they play a little bit more towards it. But you know, I can see it being a little flashback, a 5-minute segment in the movie, and you know, whether we see any storylines evolving from those scenes will be determined. And
it's going to be a flashback of Bumblebee telling the girl the story of Cybertron and what happened and where they came from. That's exactly what I see that being, those scenes. But again, they're just cool because you did say that we did see a little bit of Cybertron in the Bay films. Like in the first one, I know we got the quick scene, you know, when Optimus was telling the story to Sam and stuff. But I mean,
but
it was really
Dark in the Moon. Dark in the Moon, you've seen like a whole battle scene.
But
in the first like 10 minutes of the movie, where you see the Ark flying away and the battle's going on and they're shooting the missiles and all that good stuff. But like, I truly believe that, you know, where I think Transformers, and especially the movies, just never did what Marvel did. They said, okay, we have all this source document. We have this library that we can dig in. Let's dig in a little bit, but then also make it our own and give these characters some life and make a good story, you know. I love Civil War for some reason because of the story that it told and the plot twist that we got and everything that was happening in that movie. Because at the end of the day, it was a good story. It was like, you know, holy shit! Like at the end of the movie, you're like, fuck that you know, Bucky killed fucking Iron Man's parents, you know, and
damn it, you just ruined it.
But like,
spoilers.
I love that.
If you haven't fucking seen it, you know, get under, get out of the rock that you're under. But it's like, you know, I think like if they did that with Transformers and like, you know, maybe instead of the Fallen, you know, when they introduced the second movie, you know, you all know that Megatron was coming back. Maybe like say, you know, Optimus Prime brings him back because, you know, at the end of the first one, he's like, oh, brother, you know, there was some kind of relationship there. Why didn't you evolve that relationship? Why don't you tell that relationship? And maybe in the second movie, it's Optimus who brought him back to defeat the Fallen. You know what I'm saying? Like something that gave a little bit more character feel to it, and not just like the hero gets revolved and no, he destroys the bad guys. Like it's just played out so many times.
the thing is, I don't think they ever wanted to play it from the angle of making the robots like actual characters. Like they weren't the main characters, you know what I'm saying? And that I think is the mistake. Like that, and that's what we all want to see. Like I would love to just see, this whole thing maybe take place on Cybertron, you know what I'm saying, one day. Like them to do something like that. But I think when it comes to Hollywood, they always feel like there has to be a human element to it. They have to attach it to like a human character, somebody that's relatable. I don't agree. I would love to see them take that chance, but
or even do I forgot what show did it a lot. Like just do two stories going on in a movie where you're showing the future and showing the past, and then doing some plot twists off of that, and like giving doing some flashbacks and fast forwards and stuff like that, and just make it granted kids probably won't be able to keep up with it, but who are we really appealing to at this stage, and give some credit, man. They could they follow, they learn quick and they follow fast. So
I just feel like I'm hoping to a certain degree. I'm realistic. I'm not saying, when I say hope, that's a strong word, but I miss the general excitement. So if it's a movie that helps kickstart it again, maybe I think that's cool. I think I miss the, JD, hearing you talking about looking at your collection that looks so great on display, and you're like, it's not doing anything for anymore. That's crappy. You know what I mean? It's really too bad. Now look, our interests can change and we can move on to other things or find stuff that we like, more or less. But it's better when it's your choice and you don't feel like it's kind of being driven that way by the external factors. So,
but I felt that I've in my collection, like during my life of collecting Transformers, I've felt those points that JD is feeling right now. Like definitely during Revenge of the Fallen, when that toy line was exhausted to like the nth degree, where they were bringing back Cybertron figures and repainting them and saying, Revenge of the Fallen figures. It's just that's
terrible.
It got really bad. Like and you at time when you're collecting and you're seeing Cybertron toys being recolored and put out for the movie toy. It's just like now they're just trying to get money out of us, and it's unfortunate, and you get those those low points, and hopefully we'll go back on a high, get back on a high point and really energize our collecting habits again for Transformers.
Yeah. And you kind of see a little bit of that now that you mentioned that, Dom, what you just brought up, and old figures being repurposed for a totally unrelated line. I actually saw a picture today with these Bumblebee figures. Like I saw a pack and it had the tapes, the Combiner Wars.
Yeah, Combiner tapes. Yeah,
tapes. I'm like, oh shit, and they did, I think, repurpose a Combiner War Soundwave, right, for that
correct.
as well.
Yep, correct. Yep.
Yeah. So and I guess they're still fucking doing it, bro. They're still doing it.
They do it all the time. It's nothing new, and it happens in other toy lines. See, we all know the repaints and if you go to Storm Collectibles, you see all the ninjas. Those are the Seekers. It's just like it's everywhere. But at the end of the day, it's how much they push it and how much they get away with it, and sometimes it can annoy a collector. But
see, but now it kind of makes sense. Now it kind of makes sense because remember, like before we saw any of this footage that we just got to see in the past couple of days, they were putting out that Combiner War Soundwave, and I wondered, I'm like, why are they fucking doing that? Why would they put out a Soundwave for a Bumblebee movie? Like, what I'm saying? And I didn't think that it was because Soundwave was going to be in the movie. I was just like, okay, like. They're just fucking. That's what they do, And now we see the footage that whether it's going to be a quick flashback or not, the characters in the film.
Right.
But if they flash back to like snippets of the Machinima series, that'll be in there as flashback.
I don't think they'll think that low. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm interested to see the film and see what they do, and hopefully it's successful because I just want the brand to continue. Like I don't want this brand to go away. If this shit flops, who knows what's gonna happen to the franchise overall as a whole.
Yeah, but like unfortunately, right now, like back in 2007, Marvel wasn't doing what they're doing. Like they're not the monster that they were now. They are, and
they were planning it.
they were planning it, but like I'm just saying, there's so much now more out there. You know, Transformers that in 2007 were pretty much the game. Like, you know, it was them. And, you know, I remember walking into toy stores and you saw shelves, like a whole shelf, like aisle full of Transformer stuff, and you don't see that anymore. And, you know, now it's Star Wars and Marvel, and more Marvel than Star Wars, because Star Wars doesn't get the love either. I don't think that they should. It should. But
I don't know, man. I've seen Star Wars take up fucking whole aisles before, like,
dude.
Well, in the toys before Toys R Us closed.
Go. I always look at Walmart. Like, Walmart's my benchmark. Like, you know, Walmart like manages their space very well. And if you go to a Walmart, they have
they don't put anything in it. That's
exactly. And they don't have anything on the fucking shelves. But I'm just talking about, you know, capacity. You know, I'm not telling whether they're filling that capacity, but, you know, I'm just talking about capacity. Whether, you know, I know the Legends had like their section and it's nothing in there, but like they also have like the $5 toys, and they have a lot of them, dude. They're just filled with like low priced items, because, you know, in the store they want to keep it low priced because you're attracting the mothers and the fathers, that the kids walking in the toy aisle, and they want the mothers, like, you know, you're not going to buy that $20 toy, you're going to buy that $5 toy. And, you know, I'm more willing to spend $5 on a casual visit to Walmart, and I'm going to pick up this $5 toy. You know, they're not going to pick up the $40 or $50 toy that the kid wants to get. So that's where you see more on the shelves, because that's how business thinks, and it's unfortunate, but, you know, yeah.
I also think it has a lot to do with the manufacturer as well.
Yeah, that too. It's a whole bunch of stuff, but like, I just feel like right now Marvel it's got the dominance, and
they're on top.
Yeah.
I will say they are on top.
They're doing it right. They're doing it right. You know, they just they had the plan, like you said, JD. I think, you know, just with Marvel Studios, because that's coming out of when they were at a low point. You know, the whole bankruptcy thing, and their characters and comics they weren't really number one like anymore, and those films was almost like a Hail Mary for them. You know, like if that shit wasn't successful, you know, like who knows what would have happened. And look where we are today, 10 years later.
Yep.
You know, for when they started. So incredible, man. It is, you know. So let's wrap right there, though. It's a good discussion, guys. We'll continue, of course, in the ROC hangout. So let's just run it down the line, get some where you at, and we'll call it a night. So first up, Brian Brink. Start with you.
So guys, Brian Brink in the Facebook groups at Brinklizer on Instagram. Check out Figure Banging every other Wednesday, stuff like that. ETR on Mondays.
Scrape
in the news. Yeah, if you want to come see me try to pull together Transformers news. I mean, that's the writing. I mean, that's
Brian, I'm loving the segments. I'm loving it.
Are you?
Loving it, man.
Dude, I've become really good at it. It's efficient now. I check like 3 sources. You know, I go
to be all honest, it's entertaining, man. It's entertaining.
Oh, dude, last night. So I'm just pulling shit together, and these guys are just having a conversation about wrestling or something. I don't know. I'm just clicking next on the picture. Next.
Oh, yeah. Next. Chris was breaking it down.
And then we talked about Make Toys for a minute, and then oh, that was easy.
Next week I test them together. I can pull like some My Little Pony pictures in the middle.
The next Viking body. Bison, whatever it is.
We actually, Dust was saying, I think we got our show last Monday couldn't be monetized or something for some reason, and I think it's Kenny Prime's picture that figures boobs were too big. That's probably why.
For real?
No,
it's
I don't
too
know.
Provocative.
I remember Jose is like, nah, it's fine. She's got clothes on.
I love that toy. That toy is so good. So
yeah,
nice.
pretty nice figure. All right, Big Dom.
You can find me in the Facebook group at Dominic Rosso, and here Tuesday nights with you guys.
G money.
Let's see, Gary Allen's Facebook groups, and yeah, I'll be here with you guys on Tuesdays like normal. And yeah, that's it.
Put shit on
Better
it.
fix it.
You gotta
Better
put
fix
stuff.
it.
Yeah, put stuff on the walls, man. You got an echo. You got like you feel like you're in an empty house.
Yeah,
It sounds like you're in an empty house. Yeah.
I've been here all of like 4 days, so I'll
Get to it, Gary. Stop being lazy, Jesus.
Get
Says
on
the
that,
guy
get on
with
that.
no collection room.
Yeah, no collection room, nothing, no toys. I don't collect. What are you talking about?
Cutting. All right, JD.
You can find me packing up Transformers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not packing them up. That's not fair.
Dude, you want to have a Transformer packing party?
Oh,
Could do that.
I feel if this continues going into next year and TF Con is in Maryland again, maybe we can get tables and put some Transformers out there.
Would you guys fucking? Would you lose your mind if my table had just a sea of red and blue on it for some reason?
Oh my god!
Oh my, yeah, I think I would.
I would have to like check your temperature.
Of course, Dom will be checking it rectally.
Yeah.
Oh,
You had to take it there, JD. You had to take it.
Shout out to the hotel.
Yeah, you had to take it there.
But you can find me, JD Brocious, in the Facebook groups, Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live. Here every Tuesday night with these fine fellas, and every other Wednesday on Figa Bangin'.
Figure.
Bang.
Tomorrow, is it? It's a week from tomorrow, JD.
Yeah, next week.
next week.
It'll be a new show.
Next week.
I really like the legend one this past week.
That was
That
fun.
was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Maybe we could talk about
Legend Spotlight.
We definitely should. We should.
Lucas B in the chat just mentioned that he sold his MP collection. He's going Legends route.
Oh,
You
wow.
know what? It's
There
weird.
you go.
I thought about that early. Like I was thinking about it earlier.
There's the movement. There's the movement.
Yeah.
Just like keep my Titans and then just fucking Legends.
So
Titans and Legends.
a braver man than I tell you, man, I just want that Trailbreaker so I can put them up there, look at it for maybe a month or two. I'm like, oh, I did it. Wait, get him out of here.
I couldn't do that though. There's so many nice figures, you know.
Yeah. Well, you got to do what makes you happy, man. Sometimes people have the experience of, hey, I had the masterpiece, I could get rid of it now, and maybe I'll just enjoy these little bots a little bit more.
Like Brian's on his bucket list. G1 collection complete. Sell them off.
G1 collection sold. All right.
Okay, guys. That's for myself. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Xbox Live, and the PlayStation Network, all at Harrick and BX. Here every single Tuesday night with these fine gentlemen. And check out Verbally Challenged with Harrick and BX on all audio platforms and now available on YouTube as well. You could also find the audio version of this podcast on iTunes and Google Play. And shout out to the chat squad and everybody that was chatting it up tonight. They were getting in on our discussion. Pretty awesome to see everybody's answers and them chiming in on what we were talking
Some
about.
good
tonight.
debating going on. Yeah.
Yep. So good stuff.
Happy birthday, Riverbots.
That's right. Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday.
Hey, Jose, should we tease? Can we tease? Can we say something's
Tease
coming
them.
soon? Coming soon, guys. Coming soon. We're gonna have something special for you. I think you're gonna enjoy it. So keep an eye out. We're gonna try to roll it out next week and see what happens. And,
Whoa.
I'm just saying. I'm leaving a big tease. I'm not giving details. I'm just saying next week's show there might be something that more engaging with the chat squad and just have a good time with it. See if it works.
Yeah. That's
Put
cool.
the feelers out there, Dom, but let's not
feel-
commit to dates just yet.
Okay. Possibly next week.
Next week we're doing it.
Possibly next week.
All right, that's it. He
My-
threw down
my-
a gauntlet. I guess
my-
we get to work.
My
That's it,
lawyer,
we're committed.
my lawyer has corrected me.
Oh shit! But yeah, but
Stay
like
tuned,
he
stay
said,
tuned.
Stay tuned, guys.
Yeah.
Definitely, we're thinking about the chat squad, and we got something fun coming up very, very soon. Shout out to friends of the show, Figure
I was
Photography
lawyered.
Trade on Instagram, tfprototype.com, third party TF Crashers, kumastyle.com, Retro Now on YouTube, TKO, the Blackout and Shout crew, and what's up to the MPSP theater crew hanging out every single Friday night. Check out the website, realmofcollectors.com. Join us on Facebook, where there's a group, Realm of Collectors. We're on Instagram at Realm of Collectors. This show, Breaking the Mold, is a proud part of the Cool Table, so please pull up a chair. It's a network hub for like-minded podcasts, including Enter the Realm, Plastic Fanatics, hopefully coming back soon. Jane, thinking about you. Shattercast Uncut, Toy Detox, Nerd Rage Radio, Beer and Bolters 40K, Stasis Lock 8 weeks building up to it, and Fresh Communication. You can find the Cool Table page on Facebook along with links to all those other podcasts. All right, guys, ROC Hangout will continue next. That's our show for tonight. Thank you to everybody watching and listening. We are the ROC. We're not going anywhere. So get to know us. All right, have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace out.
Bye. I smell brownies.
Have a good week.
Get in my belly.